do know you picked the worst place to sit, right? Hype trains are your least favorite video. I get excited, I yell, I shout. You're just gonna run away. I don't know why you're doing this to yourself, but you're so adorable. It's my dog. I'm talking to my dog.
Hype train.
What is going on, guys? Dirtsheet clocking in from the Spoiler Alert Network. I am here with another hype train. Notes about said hype train. Don't read them. Just spoil the video for yourself. Stupid. But, anyways, guys, the hype train. What we're getting excited about on hype train today is the Snyder Cut that is set to release here soon. Now, full disclosure, this is not a trailer breakdown. This is not going to be discussing much about the Snyder Cut besides, like, okay, we are going to be discussing stuff about the Snyder Cut, but there's not a trailer breakdown. If you're coming here for breakdowns or Easter eggs or anything like that, go to another YouTube page. We are just getting excited about the Snyder Cut. Now, to understand the purpose behind the Snyder Cut being released, we'll kind of have to go into the Snyder dilemma. Now, Snyder was the original director for the Justice League way back in 2017, I think, whenever it was originally produced, and unfortunately, tragically, his daughter passed, and he just kind of, in his words, he lost the will to fight. And he kind of stepped down after I think he produced like roughly half of the Justice League movie, and then he decided to step down, and that's whenever Warner Brothers brought in Josh Whedon, who was the director of the original Avengers, and I think Age of Ultron. I can't remember if he did Age of Ultron or not, but they brought him in, and Whedon has done some good films, but he kind of has a track record of being very stubborn in his image and very borderline egotistical, honestly, according to a couple of actors and interviews and dirt sheets. Haha, that's meta. But anyways, so he came in and he immediately disagreed with pretty much 90% of what Snyder was going for. Snyder has always been very dark, very gritty, very R-rated. Honestly, his original image for the Justice League was much different than Josh Whedon's was, and he altered a lot of stuff. They reshot a lot of. He redesigned a lot of. He redesigned Steppenwolf, for example. Cut Darkseid pretty much completely out of the universe. Not the universe, but the movie. You know, there's like vague, ominous mentions of him, but he was never shown or anything like that. We had the weird reshoots of Henry Cavill's Superman, and that's why we had the CGI out, the mustache. It was a mess. It was an absolute mess, honestly. It was just a discombobulated, disjointed mess of a movie, in my opinion. And a lot of other people, honestly. I'm not alone. Justice League sucks. So, the Snyder Cut is going to be a massive, massive project. It's going to be 4 hours and 3 minutes, according to Snyder, and it's going to be way different, way grittier, way darker, and way more in depth than the original Justice League that we got. Now, the original vision for Snyder's Justice League was, I think, a three-part. It was a trilogy, a three-part story divided into kind of chapters. The first chapter was going to be kind of the introduction of the Justice League and of Darkseid, and then the second movie was actually going to be in the Nightmare universe, which we got a glimpse of in the original Justice League. Was the vision that, or the dream that Bruce Wayne had of the apocalyptic future, and the Flash was reaching out to him, traveling through time, and all that good stuff. Now, the second movie was going to be set in that universe, in that timeline, and then in the third movie, we would be back in the original timeline, and that was supposed to be where the Justice League would defeat Darkseid. It was going to be just this massive trilogy. It was a massive undertaking, but it all got scrapped whenever Snyder stepped down. And Snyder has said that at the moment, Warner Brothers does not seem to be interested in a three-chapter Justice League and a trilogy at the moment. But he did confirm that the Snyder Cut is going to end on a massive cliffhanger, which means that the possibility for us to get more Snyder directed or as he likes to call it, one of my favorite, the Snyderverse. He calls his Justice League universe the Snyderverse, which I think is clever as but the Snyderverse is not completely being shelved by any means. We could absolutely come back to it in the future because kind of the future of the DCEU is kind of up in the air right now. I don't really think we're gonna know the direction that they're taking with the DCEU until after the Flashpoint movie. So, but for the Snyderverse, the the difference between the Snyder cut and Whedon's image is going to be night and day. Whereas the fact that we get a much darker, more gritty, more R-rated universe, and characters like Cyborg and Barry Allen are going to be dove into more in depth, way more in depth. Cyborg seems to be kind of like the focal point of Snyder's Justice League universe and like the foundation of the team. So like we get a lot about Cyborg and Barry Allen, the Flash. It seems like we're also going to get a more in-depth look into his past and his origin. Now we're not going to get full-blown origin stories for him by any means, but 4 hours is a lot of time, and that's a lot of ground that they can cover. And we can, instead of like, oh hey, here's these characters that are in the Justice League, we got like maybe like 20 minutes of character development for him before they were just kind of thrown in, to like a ragtag team to fight Steppenwolf. But it's definitely going to be more in depth. We'll dive more into each of those characters. Another difference is going to be anything that Snyder has not done is not canon for the Snyderverse, which means things like Aquaman, things like Wonder Woman 1984, which was a pile of garbage, are not going to be canon to his universe. Like, it's almost as if they never happened. None of that happened. It's almost like we're traveling back in time to 2017 and we're starting from scratch essentially. So it's going to feel disjointed if you don't really understand like the story behind it or anything like that. And but at like as bad as it sounds, the DCEU can't be already more confusing and disjointed than it is in the moment. Like, it's a mess. So, but I really think the Snyder Cut's going to be. I just think it's fan service. It's going to, like, we fans have clamored for years for the Snyder Cut. We wanted the Snyder directed Justice League, and now we're going to get it. It's going to release on HBO Max. If you don't have it, go get it. Quit being dumb. Like, stuff's going to be releasing to HBO Max probably after the pandemic is over. So, like, it gives us a reason not to leave our house. Like, stay home. You watch movies that are in theaters at your house. You don't have to go see people. So, it's going to be I think it's going to be really good. I'm super excited for it. It's going to be 4 hours, so, like, just be prepared to sit and binge it. But good movies that are super long don't feel like they're as long as they are. You look at stuff like Avengers Endgame, which was 3 hours long. Didn't feel like it was 3 hours because it was good storytelling. We're not going to talk about that. This is about the Snyder Cut, okay? We're not talking about any of that. Don't talk about Justice League. Shut up. Stop it. Stop it. But, and I think that if it's done right, it won't even feel like a 4 hour film. And it will leave us wanting more. Because, like I said, Snyder has confirmed in an interview that it ends on a cliffhanger. So, it definitely is going to leave open the possibility of coming back to this story. And I think that's super cool. And I'm going to read my notes real quick because I forgot what I wanted to talk about. Oh, biggest thing. The biggest thing that we're going to get in the Snyder Cut is Darkseid. Oh my god. We were supposed to get Darkseid from the beginning. Steppenwolf was poorly done. But we are going to get Darkseid. Steppenwolf is coming back in some spiked armor, which looks really cool. But I think they're going to build on the story of Darkseid. We're going to get a more in-depth Steppenwolf. We're going to get Darkseid and a story for Darkseid. Granny Goodness is confirmed to be in the movie, who is just absolutely freaking insane. Like, she is the most evil and brutal Darkseid lieutenant like ever, and she's going to be in it. I think it's going to dive into the Justice League universe that much more, and it's actually going to touch on some things that are vital to kind of the mythos of the Justice League in DC Comics. So I'm really excited for it. I really think that it's going to be super good. I think it's going to be super cool. I really hope that we come back to it after this first one. I hope this isn't just a fan service one and done. But even if it is, it's going to be super cool. So, guys, I really think you should watch it. Like, I think that for casual fans and diehard fans, the same. I think that the Snyder Cut is going to be leagues above what we got originally. Because what we got, okay, it was bad. What we got was bad, but it the DCEU could be a very special universe, very very special, very unique because it has very recognizable characters and a long history in DC Comics. And I think that Snyder is going to give us. I think he's going to justify that. I think that he's going to do well in it. And now I've gone on for like I don't know, 30 minutes or like I don't know, maybe 9. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. All right, guys. But anyways, hop in the comments. Let me know if you guys are excited for the Snyder Cut or just what you're excited about on HBO, or if there's anything you want to see a hype train on. Like I'm open to suggestions. But until then, you're just gonna hear about stuff that I'm excited about. Cause until you see a face on camera from T-San saying stuff, whether it's this face, the face with the fur, the face with the beard, the face with the glasses, any of us. Until we come back, remember to stay dedicated.